The stress response cycle is a biological process in our bodies. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end, just like all the biological processes. Unfortunately, there is a disconnect in modern human life between what activates the stress response and what completes the stress response cycle. So the things that actually cause our stress, like traffic and our kids and money and the fate of the world, are not things that we can escape from, like a lion, which is what the stress response is built for. It's to help us run away from the lion. Instead,
things you can do to complete the stress response cycle, separate from whether or not you solve any of the problems that caused your stress, are, number one, run. Any physical activity that makes your body feel as though it has escaped from a lion. It could be actually running, or the elliptical machine, or your Zumba class, or just dancing it out to Beyonce in your kitchen, or just tightening all your muscles for 10 slow counts and then relaxing them. That's gonna allow your body to feel like it's in a safe place again. Or if that's not effective for you, and it's not for everybody, a 20-second hug. Finding someone you love and trust enough to hug for 20 seconds. 20 seconds is an awkwardly long hug if you don't really like the person that you're hugging. So someone that you do like and trust enough to hug for 20 seconds. You support your own weight, either standing over your own center of gravity or sitting. Wrap your arms around the person and let your body return to a state of safety with the change of neurochemicals. Your heart rate will lower, your blood pressure will decrease, and you'll feel totally different, just 20 seconds. And third, a good night's sleep. Sleep is important for so many reasons, but one of the many, many, many things that can complete the stress response cycle is an actual full night's sleep. It's actually true that if you sleep on it, you'll feel better in the morning.
there is some evidence that there's a biological difference in the way people born into female bodies process stress versus the way people born into male bodies process stress. Most of this evidence comes from animal research. So, for example, when they take rats and they stress them out chronically by doing things like pouring water on their nests or tilting their cages or flashing lights at random intervals, right? Their stress level goes up, and then they drop that stressed rat into a little tank of water. It's called the forced swim test. And the rat will swim and swim and swim and swim and swim and swim. And the question is, how long does a stressed rat continue swimming until it just gives up and stops trying? And the answer is, it depends on the rat's sex. Female rats will continue the forced swim for twice as long as male rats, and their swim time never drops to as short as the male rat. So it turns out even female rats, like, #persist.
And whether or not the rat's biology directly corresponds to human female physiology, the fact is that we do live in a world where human females are more likely to get home and find that someone has metaphorically poured water on their nest. Being a woman in the 21st century industrialized West is to live with your gender as a chronic low-level stressor. Sexual harassment, catcalling, sexual violence, misogyny on TV. Being a woman in the world just is more stressful. There's a philosopher who wrote a book called Down Girl, The Logic of Misogyny. Her name is Kate Mann. And as a moral philosopher, she posits in this book a world where there are two kinds of humans. Human beings who have a moral obligation to live and be their full humanity, and human givers who have a moral obligation to give their time, their energy, their lives, their bodies to the human beings.
Guess which one women are?
So because we live in this world of attention where there's a tension between human beings and human givers are from birth internalized with this idea that I'm supposed to give everything that I have. And as we grow up and we start to realize, oh, maybe being pretty and happy and calm and attentive to the needs of others and generous all the time, that's making me exhausted all the time. And we start to realize maybe being that kind of person isn't good for my health. And we have to unlearn what it is to be a giver. Or, better yet, start to learn what it is to give to other givers and to accept help when you need it.
Top 3 wellness tips.
Number 1. Wellness is not a state of being, it's a state of action. It's the freedom to oscillate through the cycles of being human.
2, rest It is one of the cycles. Who doesn't know sleep is good for you? But no, seriously, if you don't get the rest will come and get you. It will grab you by the face, push you to the ground, put its foot on your chest, and declare itself the victor. Rest is that important.
And number 3, the solution to burnout is not self-care. It's all of us caring for each other. My sister has a PhD in public health and a master's degree in counseling, and my doctorate's in choral conducting. Why am I writing a book about stress management? Because I was hospitalized twice during my doctoral program, and what I learned that we wrote about in the book actually saved my life twice. The first time I was in the hospital, they didn't know what was wrong with me. They knew my white blood cell count was off the charts, and they told me to go home and relax. It's just stress, they told me, and I had no idea what that meant or what to do. And Emily has always intuited her whole life, like feelings, how to do and she started bringing me books. And the first book that really changed everything for me was about the ways that our body holds on to rage and trauma, and talked about how your past is stored in your body. And I read the word rage on the page, and it just kicked my legs out from under me, and I'm sobbing on the phone. And what do you do when you're sobbing on the phone is you call your sister. What? My sister has a PhD in public health, though, so I'm extra lucky. What this book says that rage is held in your body? Is that real? It's true, it turns out.
Literally, it's not just a metaphor.
It's not just a metaphor. Rage is an actual thing, and it actually is held physically in your body. And what it had done to me was destroy an organ. The next time I was in the hospital, it was a little too late for me to learn this, so it destroyed my appendix. They took it out, and I got a chance to start over.